Immediately. Jesus. All right.
And share.
Let's go. All right. What up, all? I should probably use this. We're recording a little podcast
Yo, yo, yo.
with the homie. I'm Antics, a.k.a. Landon Shaw. That's my pseudonym for now. And I'm here. I'm here with my homie that I've been rocking the mic with for a very, very long time. Ruben Salazar, Bino, and I'm super excited to have him on to discuss not only his journey through hip hop, you know, where his life has been, how we got linked up, and then we're going to discuss the February 17th show coming up on February 17th.
Very, very, very direct. I love it.
Yeah. And so bear with us because we're not exactly communicative people. Bino, really what I wanted to start out with, man, dog, I've known you since our 20s. Whenever we first met, I think I was rocking a show at Aardvark, and I think I was performing with Matt, and I got off stage, and me and you linked up from there, and we kind of just kicked it off from there. But I want to know, man, you were already into hip hop by that time. You were already recording music, and I was pretty fucking fascinated because I didn't have any of my recording stuff set up. It was just all kind of off the cuff. Like, what got you into it? Where did that stem and that passion come from? And you know, how did that inspire you? How did your artwork inspire your art and getting into it?
I really got started into everything at a really, really young age, and I love telling this story because it's my pops who got me into hip hop in the first place. He used to bump a bunch of NWA, Dr. Dre, Beastie Boys, everything like that, and I really, really enjoyed it. You know, everything was on cassette. He had this whole cassette case full of, just a bunch of jams, mixed master mic, and it started to resonate more, whenever I started seeing the culture in school. A lot of my homies, they were either rapping, beatboxing, breakdancing, stuff like that, doing graffiti. And so I just kind of, latched onto them, and I started learning, how to freestyle. In middle school, they did a lot of circles out in the yard, and they freestyle battled. It was just like 8 Mile, but less Detroit,
More space.
Yeah. A lot less industrial.
Yeah. We didn't have Ford Motor right down the road.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Yeah. And
we had farms.
We had farms, flatland, a lot of flatland. Friday Night Lights,
Friday Night Light hip hop. Fair enough.
Oh, that's funny. And I started getting involved with that. I started jumping in freestyle ciphers. I was trash. I got booed. I got just run through the ringer. But it was always something that was really cool to me. I was always really into rapping and graffiti. And, I'd spend time going with friends to the train yard off 8th Avenue, and we would just see a bunch of names. We'd go benching on Sundays, and I started, sketching, getting into doing all of that drawing. And so whenever I got older, and I was like 19, came back from boot camp, basic training in the Army, and I still had all this passion for it. And the way I got into recording and everything like that was kind of, it was kind of like thrown in my lap, if you will. My buddy Adam Ortiz, shout out homie. But he, I met him through my boy Corey Faye, and we all just lamped up at his spot. And dude had one of those original iMacs. Yeah, man, the whole
like
home,
color, like the
yeah,
color back.
whole freaking huge, just
the color back in it. They made it transparent so you could see all the different parts inside of it.
And he had GarageBand on there.
Hell yes.
So I just started getting, we'd go over there, get stoned, have some drinks, play some video games, and I would jump on there and start making beats. I learned cadence and I learned bar structure and musical measurements whenever I was in middle school, playing alto saxophone. learn how to read music and all that. So I was able to know like, you know, 8s, 4s, 16s, stuff like that. And I was able to transition that into making beats. And then I was like, you know, just chilling. And we just started freestyling. Realized that I still had, you know, the ability to, you know, hold cadence, freestyle, you know, actually like put together structure. So I was like, fuck it. You know, let me let me go ahead and, you know, make a demo. And so I literally took a rock band microphone that I had. I set it up at his place on the freaking stand that it came with. And I took two like PVC pipes, duct taped it to the front of it, and then threw on a screen with a pantyhose. Yeah.
You did the old pantyhose.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I recorded my first 4 songs ever on that.
Damn, 4 right back to back kind of deal?
Yeah. I was over there almost every other day after work, and we'd be, you know, just dude had the newest PlayStation and all the video games were coming out, and they had really cool release dates, and so we get together to go play some video games and end up recording a track or two. And so I want to say it wasn't I started going to hang out at the local bars, and that's when I met like a couple people, you know, just freestyling off stage, and they introduced me to, you know, DJs. And that's how I got my first show ever, and it was over at the original Aardvark.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what always so whenever we first linked up, one of the things about Southern rap typically is that it's very straightforward. Like the 2s and 4s, you hit those, and you know what you're going to kind of be rapping about. And I always tried to hold myself apart with a little bit more abstract rhymes, a little bit more abstract, not even necessarily abstract content, but try to work inside the rhyme schemes a little bit more. And whenever we first met, I was doing the PsychoCon stuff, and PsychoCon was very aggressive, you know, angry and everything. And then I listened to yours, and there was a much more laid back kind of style to it, but also your word choice and your rhyme schemes were something that I was much more interested in. And I was much more interested in that cadence. And so was it the art, because you were already an artist at that point in time. I think it was FT Dub told me he always had a theory about artists that do hip hop. Was it the art that drove you to write those ways, or was it like art history, or just something a little bit more abstract that made you kind of think out the bubble instead of just being kind of the straightforward rapper?
No, yeah, it was definitely my interest in art. Had a huge play on everything that I, you know, wrote in a song. I used to I still do, but I used to daydream, you know, all the time, and just come up with weird ideas to draw, just something off the wall, or something, you know, that not a lot of people were trying to create, you know, at all.
Yeah.
And it kind of helped me like find my niche for writing.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be as abstract as the art that I was making, you know, and I wanted to also, you know, show that I've been, you know, freaking, you know, molded by the past, you know, generations of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, I have my influences from, you know, a whole lot of East Coast cats. You know, I have a laid back style from, you know, that people think, you know, comes from the Bay Area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, just being from Texas, you know, where like rhythm and blues and all that is really dominant. I grew up on a lot of blues music. I grew up on a lot of artists like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And so...
And Dallas is a unique, like DFW is a very unique position amongst like East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, down South. Like it kind of funnels in to us. And it's kind of, you find cats that are all different, that soak up all those different styles and kind of bleed them into their own.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you can hit some down South. So I've heard you do some down South shit too.
And see, I grew up, you know, in middle school, elementary school. I was living in Southside. When I got into middle school, my mom actually moved me over into the southwest area of town to get away from all of, like the graffiti and the, you know, the more gang life. but everybody else's mom thought the same thing, and so we all just ended up at the same school. And or they would end up down at a school like maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes a drive down the street.
Yeah.
And so we were always meeting up at the park, just being able to really just do our thing. It wasn't about being hip hop. It was about just enjoying, stuff that made us feel like away from everybody else who kind of didn't see us as people that fit in, with their crew or whatever the hell. Yeah.
Well, it's wild too, man, because like I said, you can do the cholo, you can do like the down south, and then whenever you get on your East Coast or West Coast stuff, it's always, for me, you always drove my pen to do better. Like there's one lyric that always stands out, like reason for purpose is like blueprint for a concept. Like just that phrase right there. Reason for purpose is simply a blueprint for whatever you're conceptualizing. And like, but that's where your lyrics would go, like regularly. That's where you would drive your pen to. So whenever we first linked up, we started doing we did a little bit of Emblematic. We did a few tracks like that, and then we started fucking around with my homeboy Edgar.
Shout out, P.
And we did some SOO. So whenever you were getting really in, so you started doing the freestyle stuff, you were doing the art. What kind of drove you to say, okay, this is going to be, what really turned it into a lifestyle for you? Because it branched off from just a hobby into, like, that's what you wanted to do.
Whenever, after I got my first show at Aardvark, a lot of homies started, getting me in touch with people that are doing shows or have been doing shows. And I got in touch with people doing stuff at the Aardvark, got in touch with people doing stuff at the Cellar, got in touch with people that were doing stuff at Froggy's. And, I didn't really think much of it until I started growing with a crew. Yeah. When I met your cousin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've known your cousin since fucking middle school,
I completely forgot about that.
And I think we were at Spencer's Corner, just hanging out, and I believe that's the first time like he introduced me to you.
That's right.
Yeah, and he was like, "You gotta meet my cousin. He's been rapping. He's been doing shows, this and that, da 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 da." And I'm like, "Bet." And when I met you, I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, this dude looks like he doesn't fit in just like me. I'm like,
and I certainly look like I didn't fit the fuck in.
Yeah, it's like, all right, cool. I was like, I look like I could be,
Which I gotta say right now, man, I appreciate you letting me rock my fucking vests and my slacks and all that kind of shit while I was rocking. Some people didn't really like it, but you let me be basically as weird as I fucking wanted to be.
I mean, it was cool, man. Like it was something different, you know. And it was like, man, like if me and this cat can rock these sets and he ain't got no laces in his shoes, rocking loafers and looking like a freaking substitute teacher, I was like, bro, like that's something different. Everybody's out here all baggy jeaned up, looking like very antisocial. I don't wear brand names and just trying to be as against the system as possible. And it gets to the point where you're no longer doing something that's unique. Yeah. You're just standing on the same soapbox as everybody else.
Yeah, it almost becomes like a different type of conformity.
It's like a cliche.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the fact that, I rock tattoos. I look like a dude from the skate park. Yeah. Trying to borrow a 20 and a cigarette. And you look like you're from the other side of the tracks.
Yeah, facts.
Like we literally had that, individualism amongst us. Yeah. And it drove me to, really want to, make my lyrics the way, because of how intricate you got in the style of your delivery. I was like, man, I really got to like come a little bit harder.
Appreciate that.
I was like, I've got to learn how to be more abstract. Yeah. And think outside of the box with how I'm trying to deliver my music. Yeah. So that I can match with this dude right here.
Appreciate it.
And so the whole time that you're trying to match your music with mine, I'm trying to do the same with you.
Yeah, that's a fucking fact.
And it's cool because not a lot of people take time to grow and learn from somebody. A lot of people are just trying to get heard. A lot of people are just trying to be the next big thing,
Yeah.
instead of trying to, like grow with a community. And I still see it online, sometimes where, some people will be doing something. I'll give a shout out to somebody else, and then, somebody will make a post being salty about it.
Yeah.
Throwing shade under the sun.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like, we're not competing.
Mm-mm.
I mean, like, like if there's anything, there's maybe like a handful of people around here who actually are on labels or have their own labels.
Yeah.
And, can get monetary gain from their music. They have stuff on video games. They got stuff in commercials. And everybody else is still fighting for, scraps in the backyard.
Yeah.
So if a lot of people would just, like, step back a little bit and just know their role isn't as big as they're thinking it is, and they work together, like, they'll be able to get somewhere, man. I got lucky that I got signed back in like 2015.
Yeah.
That was at a show at Andy's in a basement. No,
Yeah.
J&J's Pizza in Denton, dude.
Hell yeah.
And,
well, Denton's a place to fucking do it. That's a fact.
And so now, I listen to my albums, on YouTube, and just, play them all day, and I get monetary gain from that. My music's on Spotify, Apple, all this different stuff, and I get to see, like, where all these, people are listening from, and they're all over the country, all over the world, different ages, different, genders, different backgrounds, and it's like, cool, man. The more that I'm, just liking how weird and not out the norm that I am, the more people are gonna really appreciate that too.
So have you seen? Obviously, whenever we first start rapping, we're kind of like emulating our own, like, our heroes, more or less. Like, I wanted to rap as fast as fucking Bone Thugs if I could. Talk me through the evolution of your writing and where you really saw, whenever you really feel like you came into your own as an artist.
Like, when I first started out, I wanted to be like Method Man.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like Method Man. I loved Wu-Tang. I love that just raw delivery, just getting,
Getting the job done.
Just doing it.
Yeah.
And I want to say that I didn't start coming into my own until I released Odds and Ends in I think 2016. And once I did that, I started figuring out, okay, this is a formula. If I can stay on it, I can keep with it.
Yeah.
And you can tell in my projects after that, like, how I started to fluctuate in that idea, and I hit a rough patch, and I think it was the second to last project I released just wasn't up to par.
Yeah. And
I just refused to play it, all that kind of stuff. But coming back now and having Here and Now out, I've regained my focus from where I used to be. But now having all these years under my belt, and being in so many ciphers, being on so many features, and doing just all this different kind of work, trying to mesh with different personalities and different rhyme sets and rhyme schemes and cadences. So I feel like I've come back into my own, but also I'm growing.
Yeah.
And I'm learning how to take that knowledge and even further my skill into something different, and hopefully 40, 50 and all that, whenever I'm older, I'll have a lot more different schemes to offer, and a whole new style to just showcase how much more I've grown and the milestones I've achieved with my skills.
Well, it's interesting you bring up the rut, like, and I've been dealing with that for quite some time now, because I kind of stepped away for so long. What is it that it's like losing a limb, like, because rapping is a muscle. Like, every art form is like a muscle in your brain that you really have to train, and you really have to nurture and continue to nurture. And the moment that you fall away from it, you find you're like trying to get back on it, and every single time you try to, you can't start from where you got to. You got to go back to bare basics.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, whenever I was driving here, finally listening to beats and able to make stuff. What was it like going from? Because obviously we all have our like personal issues, and those personal issues are going to bleed into our music, whether it's whether it's drug addiction, whether it's alcoholism, finding out those issues, and now you're overcoming those. What is it like to be getting back into that cycle?
Coming back, dude. Yeah, I've been dealing with alcoholism, drug addiction. That's kind of just been apparent through like the mid of my career. I know a lot of people can attest to it. You've seen it too.
Yep.
And it got to the point where my ego for where I was at the time and where I was going, mixed with all the drugs and the lifestyle and everything, really helped me collapse faster than I could ever be showcased. If I wasn't doing any of that shit, I'd probably be on the road right now.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have to be picking up the pieces.
Yeah.
But
those vices become like what you start doing it
Yeah.
for, like just to be able to support those,
and
or just the outlet for them.
yeah, and I stopped having any content to write. Everything was about just getting fucked up.
Yep.
It stopped being fun.
Yeah.
It just felt like a chore.
Yeah.
But I went to rehab back in February, and I had to deal with all that. Been 10 months sober.
Hell yeah.
And
congratulations. That's
appreciate
dope,
that.
man.
Appreciate
That's really
that.
dope.
It's like 10 months, 22 days.
Hell yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the first year of sobriety.
Because that brain fog must be going away now too.
I finally feel like I've been living for the first time in 15
yeah,
years.
Man, that's great to hear.
And the fact that it feels that way, I had a moment of regret. Where I'm like, man, I fucked up. I could have done this when I was younger. If I would have, not been drinking, this and that.
Yeah.
But
I could have saved this friendship. I could have saved this relationship. I should have, could have done.
Yeah. At the same time, it's like, Ruben, you're still alive. Like, you could still
Bingo.
do all that. You could still, regain all that trust from the people who love you.
Yep.
You can rebuild those connections, rebuild that trust, and at the same time, rebuild your career.
Hell yeah.
And so that's where I went with Here and Now. A lot. I want to say 3 of the tracks were before I got sober, and they have a hint of me figuring out that I'm having a problem with trying to just live without having anything in my system. And then the rest of them I actually wrote here. I wrote the rest of the album, and then I mastered it in that parking lot in my car.
Damn.
Yeah. And
Damn.
I really just leaned into the whole subject of sobriety, depression, my suicide attempt. I wanted to be as honest as I could with myself in this project, just because I know that there's a lot of people who are scared to even express that, because they've had experiences where people just use it against them, or make them feel like shit, just for trying to feel better, or get something out of their head. And I was like, what if I just put it out there in a way that people can hear and listen, and the only thing they can do is absorb. I was like, maybe I can help somebody else open up. And I've exposed that a lot on my personal Facebook page too. I'm very open about how I feel, what's on my mind, or how I'm feeling in the moment. And I get a lot of response from people who are, they're like, you're way stronger than I am, because I can't be as honest with myself about this, as you are.
Well, and I think it's you and I both have that personality. God, I look back at some of the stuff that I used to post back in the day, and Jesus Christ, man, I'm like, you pretentious prick. But a lot of it was, it was so driven by not only my addiction, but my ego and my egotism and all that kind of stuff. And I know you've seen the same thing, where we just regurgitated and let everything out. And now we're in such different places and peaceful place. It's weird to be in that kind of peaceful place and say, now I want to share what the peace is like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is the contrast between, I'm sure you see it on the memories that pop up, the contrast between who you are now and who you were then. and being able to say, I'm still the same person, but I'm a better version of it.
I mean, hell, even posts that I get from last year, you know, I just see a complete difference.
That's good.
In personality and just, you know, actual empathy towards, you know, life, man. Just
that's
being
a great way to put it.
Being more empathetic and being more, you know, just like okay.
Yeah.
You know, I can't take on everything. I can't, you know, handle every problem, but the ones that I can, hey, let's cover that and then just move on with our day. You know,
that's a great way to put it. Empathy for life.
You know,
like that's
it's
because it's such a contrast from the apathetic side that we really had like in our late 20s.
A lot of people take in so much of everything. You know, we got all instant information in our hands, and we're just taking in so much that we can't process, and it overwhelms the brain. And you know, people just start getting mad at the world. You know, they just start seeing the world as an ugly place, but it's really just because of all the shit that they have in their heads that they're not letting go. You know, it's like, you can't handle these problems. You can't, you know, handle that problem. What are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna go fly to Israel and, you know, try to handle something, or are you just gonna like let it go and go back to living? You know, you can say your piece, you know, be in support, cool. Send some money to a, you know, organization. Go volunteer, you know, first aid. Go join the Peace Corps, you know, like, go do something, you know, and instead of just sitting here rallying yourself up.
Or if you're not going to, be happy and content with who you got around you, because, man, it's wild because things can end in a very split second. Like, you know, my homie Josh, we stopped being friends, and you met Josh whenever we were rapping together and everything. Me and him had a big falling out, and it wasn't until we lost a friend that we decided to come together. And it's like, man, that stuff happens so fucking quick, and you can run around and be pissed off about the things that you see on your phone. But one of the great things about like kind of this culture and music is whenever you go to those shows, and you know, I'm guilty of not getting out as much as I should. But also, I'm an old fuck now, so it's kind of hard. And I'm a married man.
That's right, man. You're a married man.
Married man.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got to say, dude, like, your relationship, like, seeing you, like, smile, seeing you happy in your own skin is great, man.
Like, genuinely.
It makes me feel, you know, really happy that I'm in this. You know, it's like cool. Like, I don't get to see you a lot. You know, we don't hang out very much. We're not, you know, as tight as we used to be in physical. Yeah. But at the same time, like, watching you go through the same journey that I'm going through, but on the other side, it's just like how it is whenever I wanted this crew, whenever I first started wanting to hang out with you. Well, man, because you're like the other side of
one of the reasons
you're like the upside down. One of the
reasons that your sobriety makes me so happy is that, you know, it took me to know that, like, it took me getting past my pill addiction and then getting into, you know, working and finding a stable moment in there. That's the only reason that I was able to meet somebody, you know. That's the only reason I was able to meet somebody kind enough to love me. Yeah. And knowing that you're going through that sobriety journey, man, is there's so many bright things on your future because of it. Like, now that you're at peace with yourself, you're at peace with who you were, and you're ready to, like, build on top of that, that's when all the good shit's gonna happen, man. That's when all the good shit's gonna happen.
I used to get very, you know, envious, jealous of other people and everything, but now whenever I see everybody got some cool shit going on for themselves, or they're living, they're getting married, I can't be anything more than happier, because it's like, bro, like, everybody around me is doing something really cool. That means that I've got a great circle.
Hell yeah.
That means that, you know, I've got nothing but greatness in my future.
Well, and it's all people who have been in your position of having those wicked addictions that literally just run your entire life. Like, I couldn't do a fucking thing without a pill, like, for years. And I'm sure you saw my personality take a massive switch whenever I got addicted.
Oh yeah, man. And this used to be a 40 right here, you know.
Yeah. He told me I'm not gonna be drinking a 40. I'm gonna be drinking coffee, and I was like, bomb.
Drinking Starbucks K cups now, bro.
Water. There's not actually, like, purple drink in this.
But it makes me feel good, man, you know, because I haven't had a hangover in 10 months.
That's dope.
I can eat. You know, I've gained weight. You know, I'm no longer looking like a pale corpse, you know.
And you don't think everything has to be driven by going to get drunk?
Yeah. I don't have to, you know, leave out, get a couple tall cans. I don't have to, you know, do a session with, you know, getting drunk first. I don't have to sit around, you know, just constantly having to pause to go get another beer or something like that. Like, it feels good to actually be able to enjoy things again. And, you know, I'm enjoying my music. I'm enjoying the accolades that I've gained. You know, I'm enjoying every positive thing that everybody has to say about me, and it's because I'm treating myself better. You know, I'm treating myself, you know, actually how I need to, and creating art and music. You know, it's something I do because I love doing it. You know, and Rick Rubin said it best, man. He goes, "Stop worrying about the audience and what they're interested in, and start focusing on what makes you happy." He goes, "They're gonna see that and want to, you know, instantly buy into it because, you know, you create something for yourself, and that's when the unique part of music, that standing outside, standing above the crowd, happens. Whenever you're not worried about making the next hit, but you're focused on, is this song gonna make me happy? Am I gonna have just fun singing this song? You know, because that's when, you know, that real unique fucking artist is found."
Well, isn't that where it started from for us? You know, like whenever we first started doing it, it wasn't about making a track like that, like Tut Tut, Tut Tut looks like rain, like Chance of Weather. We weren't thinking like, is this for an audience? Like, is this an audience, something that the audience is gonna like? Which we are gonna perform on February 17th.
Yes.
But it was all about how much we enjoyed life, you know, and it was what we enjoyed making our music for. I'm gonna check this camera real quick.
What up, Munster?
Oh, what up, Mustard?
Homies on here. Shout out to everybody watching right now, or if you have, you know, appreciate that. Yeah, I'm gonna grab me another cup of coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, let me grab some water too. We're gonna go some Bino's music on that, not on that.
Oh man, this is fun. I love this. And you know what's wild?
Multiple other questions that I want to ask you. So cool.
What's wild is doing all this, you know, in the beginning and all that. Whenever we first started getting interviewed or ask questions, I get interviewed now, and they're like,
I can tell. I can tell. Who all we got on here? We got one. Ian. That's my man. Oh, that's gonna be dope. Man, that whole shit. The February 17th is I'm so fucking stoked for, man, because I haven't actually set up a show or like gotten some artists together and stuff like that in so damn long. I don't know if I ever want to do it again because I don't like all the moving pieces.
I have a feeling that we are though.
But man, it's exciting. It's super, super exciting. Where my phone at? Winter has arrived once again. Seasons change. Mad things rearrange. I can't wait to interview some more homies too, man. This is sitting down with Ruben. I've known this man for a decade plus, and man, we made some good music together. And I'm really hoping in the future we can make some more tracks together. And it's gonna be really, really, really special to share a stage with him again. And I'm also gonna get to share a stage with other people that I haven't shared a stage with for a very long time. My whole motivation behind setting up this show was I want the cats that I admire most to be up here with me. And whether it's because I admire their music, their work ethic, or I just genuinely love and care about them as a person, and whenever I went to Bino had set up a show and I went up there to go check out the acts and everything, and Kilo's up there and Barnyardists are up there and Ruben's setting it up. I was like, man, I busted a little freestyle up there, and he's like, when are we going to set up a show again? I was like, man, if you got a venue, I think it's about damn time. I think it's about time to do it. And I was very fortunate that he still has those connections. Because if somebody asked me to find a venue, I wouldn't know where the hell to go. I'd be like, well, there's this street corner that people are typically standing on. You might be able to get on this street corner with me, Doug. This segment is brought to you by UTK Studios. What up? UTK?
Yeah, that's my boy DJP.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome, dude. So what is I'll ask you whenever you get back on the mic.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
so
After like 2 months, dude, you're going to be like...
Homie popped up. Tell me about the label.
Segment is brought to you by UTK Studios. Aha, yeah. Yo, that's my boy, DJ P, also known as P the Poet. UTK Studios is his brainchild. It's unknown to known. Dude does... First of all, let me break it down to you. This kid is phenomenal. He's one of the dudes who I found... put him on one of the shows, and he's seen all this stuff that I've been doing, that we've been doing. And I just told him all the stories and everything like that. And this homie went and took an idea he had in his head, and he wanted to be a really a working DJ. He wanted to be a working, artist, and he started doing his own shows. Started getting all these huge gigs over at Haltom Theater. Like a majority of those Haltom Theater shows with like little flip and everything that you see.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's been putting them on.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Packing out 500 plus people, all that kind of stuff. I think I'm gassing a little bit. If I'm wrong, let me know.
Don't correct them.
Yeah, but if I'm capping, whatever. But yeah, dude. And he's doing some real cool stuff. But yeah, I met him, and I kind of just I don't want to say took him under my wing, but I started working with dude. How I started working with you.
Yeah.
Because I saw the same passion.
Rock and roll.
Whenever he did stuff, he was just happy about it. And I was like, man, this is how me and Boy Antics used to be. And honestly, any person that I ever worked with now, like my boy Pac Manson, he's another one of my homeboys who's like real tight. Used to sleep on his couch, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, we got an EP coming out called Blessings.
Hell yeah.
And we go in on that. So it's actually in the working right now. We got 2 tracks left to record, and then we're releasing that. We're gonna have physical copies. I know a lot of people still collecting CDs and stuff like that, so we're gonna do that. He's actually got a show on the 17th. He's got DeRoe coming out.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and already asked me to jump on the lineup, and I had to turn it down.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So if you can blame this guy right here.
I couldn't do a show.
You can blame this guy because he couldn't decide on a date because his boss is choosy.
I had a date, and then I got told that I need to go to Antarctica, so I can't say no to that.
Oh
Which is gonna
man,
be fucking
when
wild.
bills come in the way of art.
Yeah. Work and all that.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the new projects coming out. You just dropped one not too long ago. Tell me about that project. Tell me about some future ones and kind of what your trajectory is like from here.
Okay. Well, actually, I've got an EP in the shoots. I just got to send it off to the label and decide on a release date. It's called B-Sides. Just an EP of some tracks that I found that were, kind of raw mastered. I got my boy Other Words I got a track on there with him. I got a couple beats with my boy Milky. Shout out Milky Beats. If you guys are looking to work with somebody on beats in the Fort Worth area, and you want to work with credits and all that, that's one of the homies that I suggest hit up for beats. Dude's got a mad collection. Really works with some dope artists, and has just he understands the whole like performance aspect, and making a show and making sure your songs sound right for performance. So I would strongly recommend him. But here and now, I'm looking to push that for the next about year, or and then I'm gonna push B-sides along with it. Just because I need some new music, I need to freshen up my catalog, and it's always good to just constantly have something that you're pushing out, just show that what kind of stuff you're working on. Mm-hmm. And after I release B-sides, I've got Blessings with my boy DJ P. That's gonna be dropping. So I've got Here and Now, B-sides, Blessings. I'm jumping on a couple features with my boy Pac Manson. He's got some cats lined up. He's got some posthumous tracks with Nate Dogg.
Damn.
Sean P.
Sean P too?
Yeah, dude. And like these are like were given to him from the producers.
Oh, that's wild.
So he's got the paperwork for it.
Holy
He's
shit.
everything like that. So
Rest in peace.
Yeah, for reals. Rest in peace, homie. So I got some checks I'm be doing with that, some features, and just working on seeing what I can do for my next solo project, to where I can get it more, hypey. Go back to that, like that really, like shake your ass, vibe we used to throw around, and I'm gonna get back into doing a lot more of my southern style, tracks, and all those really groove style tracks. So that's what I want to work on next.
Well, you have such a unique style to be able to weave in and out of those. I mean, I always thought it would be fresh if you like dropped multiple projects and you took all the different styles that you've acquired over the years and you like did projects for each one of those, because your West Coast style is the one that I've always like latched onto, because that's just like the rhyme style that I love. But man, whenever you're bumping some of those fucking southern style tracks, man, I find myself bouncing in the fucking background.
I don't always feel Texan until I do those songs. Like that's what I really. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm from Texas.
That'll do it. Hell yeah.
And I've actually got I did this track with my boy from this I want to say it's a company out here. It's the brand Fo Stepco. Yeah, man. They do a lot of cool stuff. More on the underground side. They've packed out shows, some really cool stuff. But I got a track on there. It's called Homie, and it was produced by Tony Snow, and has a whole South, Third Coast vibe to it. That's gonna be where my next project goes, but that'll be on B-sides. And I'm looking forward for everybody hearing that track, because I didn't get to release it. I never really got to do anything with it, and it's just been sitting in the vault. So, I'm really looking forward to letting this out, and just having something for people to be like, okay, cool, they can add that to the
You got any music videos in the works or anything along those lines?
I've had my Canon on me. I got a camera. So I've been wanting to do a video for one of my tracks, but I'm definitely gonna be working with my boy DJ P on getting the music video out. I want to do at least 2 or 3 for the album, and then like maybe 1 for the B-sides EP. But whenever I do that, I'm gonna have a lot of people involved. Not me just rapping by myself and stuff like that. Like, it's gonna be some cool stuff.
You gotta put on those TikTok ones, man.
I've been watching a bunch of stuff like that on YouTube, man, all them shorts and everything, and it's like, bro, this is tight. Like these little like 40-second, 30-second clips of you just rapping, doing some shit, just walking down the street. It's like, cool, man. Like, yo, these
Bro,
young cats.
those are some.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody just lets the lyrics speak for themselves and they're just literally walking and rapping, man, those are the ones that I enjoy.
I love hearing the confidence behind the rhyme scheme, man. Like,
Yeah,
I love, like, you don't have to worry about, talking about, your childhood or, how you grew up and everything like that. You're just like, hell, yo, like, I'm about
Sometimes
to just
rapping is.
I'm gonna just stop on this beat real quick.
There you go.
And you're gonna love it.
I always find it funny whenever you're going through the comments of some people's stuff like that, and they're like, "Yeah, but he isn't saying anything." Nah, but he's rapping his ass off.
Yeah, man.
Like, you're rapping your ass off, man, and I can fucking go, "How the hell did you rhyme that word with those syllables? How did you mix this in? How did you come up with this concept?" That's enough for me. I can just take 4 bars and go, the other 4 bars don't have to be about it. That was just a dope 4 bars.
Yeah. The EP that we're working on, man, I put crustacean into my scheme, and homie was like, he looked at me and my boy Pac looked at me, and they were like, "Do you really fucking put crustacean up in there? Like, you worded crustacean into your raps, bro? Like wow, like I wouldn't have thought to do that." And I'm not really bar heavy.
Yeah.
I do a lot of like, references and everything like that, but it's more about how I'm just like dancing on the beat.
Yeah,
I love it.
Well, for somebody like me, man, that is a bar. Like, if I hear somebody rhyme crustacean with something off the wall, I'm like, that's a fucking bar. It doesn't need to be a gut punch or anything like that. I'm just like, that's a bar. That's a bar. This fool said he's eating crustaceans next to the ocean, doing dances or something along those lines.
I forgot the lineup, but the end of it, I was like, I'm deep as a crustacean.
There you go.
It's just like, what?
Man, for the show, I'm going back through all my old tracks. I'm going through all of our stuff, just like listening to all of it. And man, it's wild to think like how much fun that was. And I'm really hoping for the future to be like that. We can just enjoy fucking rapping for rap's sake and like make tracks that like I love it when I hear a beat and I just want to write to it.
Yeah, man.
Just like I don't suggest this for anybody, but I was heading over here to shoot this with you, and I started listening to this beat, and I'm writing the song while I'm driving. And I'm just like, this is not a good idea, but stuff is popping into my head. I'm like, and it's not like in none of the bars are like, ooh, that's crazy. I'm just picturing myself performing it and enjoying all the different parts of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do from now on. Is just be like, if I get bar heavy, that's because that's what's in my head. But if it just comes out of my mouth and I enjoy doing it, then that works for me too, man.
Yeah, man. I do a performance and I'm dancing the whole time on stage to my own music.
Hell yeah.
It's like, this goes hard.
Man, I don't know how I'm going to be on this show. I know that as soon as I hear the music, I'm not going to be able to stop moving. But my 37-year-old body, I don't know if it can do what 27-year-old me did.
Well, you got a month, so start stretching now.
Stretching now. I'm going to be busted up. I'm glad that I'm working out, but I'm going to have to go to a fucking yoga for a little while. Dude, I'm going to pull something.
I'm going to have on my knee brace, ankle brace, and walking with a cane.
I'll video the day after.
I'm gonna have someone will me in.
Yeah. Maybe I'll just sit in a wheelchair for a little bit and see how that makes me feel.
Right.
But Doc, we're coming up on an hour, man. I appreciate you fucking sitting down with me. Is there anything else that you want to share? Just a heads up, everybody. February 17th. Thank you for helping me get this set up. Saturday, Ruben's gonna be rocking the first set at 8:25. And going to be hosting that whole motherfucking set, the whole fucking show, because I couldn't think of anybody better to fucking get up there and introduce all these different MCs that I fucking love. And he's going to be jumping on my set for a couple of tracks. And is there anything that you want to share? Anything else?
Just shout out to all the homies, Goldie, the one. Shout out to my boy Pac Manson. Shout out P. Shout out my boy Antics. Shout out Dialects Compose. Shout out everybody. Shout out my boy Luke Evans. Rest in peace. Shout out 6-0. Shout out all the homies.
Shout out Drew and Rex and all them, man.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those cats in a while, but every single time I see them still doing stuff online and still rocking it, it's good to see people that you did shows with 10 years ago still having that same kind of passion.
I saw Rex at I think it was.
Shout out Lou Charles, man. Doing his thing, man.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Lou Charles got his own. He's on talk shows on everything like that.
He had this Lou Fest. I think 2 years ago I went, and man, he still has. Me and him had a little. I know a little competition back in the day, like who could get the wildest, and that man. He can do stuff that I couldn't even imagine doing now. That guy's got some fucking energy. He is so much fun to watch.
I remember being on the Sphere Music Group with him.
Yeah.
Shout out Sphere Music Group. Drew be shining. Shout out all the homies, dude.
Big Cliff.
Shout out who else we got? Man, there's so many heads. Shout out Kilo. Shout out Barnyardists. Shout out.
Oh yeah, those are cats that you're gonna see. Kilo, I can't wait to interview him, man. He's got such a damn story, dude. It's gonna be so much fun.
Like we need to get another head up in here and do this again, man.
And we are going to, for the show, we are going to be Facebook Live that entire show. I'm gonna get the setup out there, and hopefully people tune in. If you can't make it to the show, then tune in. I'm sure Ruben's going to be sitting beside the computer commenting and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to have a little bit of setup there and film the show, bounce back so people can talk and communicate and all that jazz. So I think it's going to be dope.
Fuck yeah, dude. Here and now, check out the album, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. I'm on Napster.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you don't feel old.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, just check out the new album. Stream it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to buy it. You can stream it straight from my Beano page that I got on there. You can listen to all my albums. Stream it in the background. Helps get me royalties. Helps me make more music. You know what I'm saying?
Helps pay for the coffee.
Helps pay for all my coffee. And my therapy appointments. So. That'd be doing me a solid. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's still rocking with me. Shout out all the homies who, have had my back through my journey so far.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to everybody still rocking and, still putting out music, still putting out art. And I hope you guys never stop, dude, because, in the end, all that matters is doing whatever's fun for you and what makes you happy.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. Peace, guys.